what is the difference between Eastern or Indian astrology and Western astrology? So the Eastern astrology from India, also most often called Vedic astrology, is based on the information that comes from the Vedas, so the ancient texts of India that are over 5,000 years old. And so Vedic astrology also used a different, originally used a different constellation system and a different method for calculating the positions of the planets relative to the constellations. I know that sounds difficult and I won't go too much into it now, but just so you know. So the calculations are a little bit different compared to Western astrology. So Western astrology was more developed by the Greeks and the Romans, I think. And interestingly enough, actually, both of them came together in Babylon and in the ancient sort of cities of Alexandria and in Babylon. And in sort of those years, the two kind of came together, shared some of the knowledge with each other, and then separated once again. So that's why in Vedic or Indian astrology, they do have the 12 signs of the zodiac, sort of the same planets that the Western astrologers use, as well as having their nakshatra system, which is a system of 12 constellations that they use. So if astrology isn't complicated enough already, just think that even in Vedic or Indian Eastern astrology, they have 27 other constellations that can be learned. So the Western astrology is the one that everyone knows, depending on when you're born. If you're born from March 21st to April 21st, 22nd, then you're in Aries, and then you move to Taurus, and then you move to Gemini. That is the Western astrology way of calculating the planets, way of calculating the houses. So they come from different philosophies. They have a bit of a different lifestyle and life philosophy and morals and values, sort of that are also different behind the two. What I personally like about the Eastern astrology is that it kind of goes hand in hand with the philosophy that is behind the yoga that we know today in the West. So the yoga postures and some of the theories and philosophies from yoga also come from the Vedas or those ancient texts. And so the astrology from the Vedas comes with that and comes along with this whole baggage of sort of lifestyle guidelines and moral guidelines to help us sort of use the information from the planets in the best way that we can. So they're both very similar. Some they have a bit of their different way of calculating charts and looking at charts. I use sort of the Western chart with the Eastern or Vedic way of interpreting and using the knowledge from the chart to help us in our lives and to navigate through our lives. So that's the difference.